She might blow you off, pretend she's not feeling it, say she's swamped, wiped out, or that it's just bad timing. But what she'll never cop to is that there's a hidden code wired into the female brain. A code that, when you flip the right switches, turns indifference into obsession, silence into longing, and ice-cold vibes into emotional surrender. It's like hitting invisible buttons, and once you figure out where they are, you don't have to beg for her attention. You get her full submission. This code has zilch to do with looks, cash, or sappy romance. It's rooted in something way deeper, psychological triggers, invisible patterns that shape how she sees you. And the brutal truth, she doesn't even get why she starts thinking about you before crashing at night, stalking your socials, or feeling this weird pull towards some guy she barely knows. That's because these triggers don't hit her heart. They go straight for the subconscious. And when you master them, you stop chasing, because she's the one mentally chasing you. In this video, I'm gonna lay out the 7 mental triggers that make any woman secretly crave you. No cheap tricks or fairy tale promises here. These are real-life tested psych strategies. But fair warning, this ain't for weak dudes. It's for guys fed up with getting ghosted, overlooked, used, and ready to take the reins. In the end, you either become the trigger she can't shake, or the nice guy she doesn't even remember. And before we dive in, let's keep it real. This video only hit your feed because someone else hit like and subscribed first. Now it's your turn to keep the momentum going. Don't just leech off free content. Do your part, smash that like, subscribe, and drop a thanks in the comments. Not for me, for the algorithm. That's how YouTube knows this stuff deserves to reach more guys who need a wake-up call. Alright, no more BS. Let's get into it. Number 1. The truth that rips ego out by the roots. You grew up buying into that sugary fairy tale of love, all about affection, constant check-ins, and declarations like you're ordering takeout on DoorDash. They told you the more available you are, the more she'll love you. That being on call makes you valuable. Spoiler, that crap is just an emotional leash dressed up as advice designed to keep guys predictable and tamed. The real deal? Female desire doesn't spark from your constant presence. It ignites from your absence. It doesn't come from logic, but from chaos. Her brain isn't wired for steady vibes. It's all about that emotional adrenaline rush. That's why the nice guy, that perpetual sweetheart, ends up like a houseplant. Cute at first, then forgotten in the corner. He hands over everything before she's even hungry, spills his feelings before desire kicks in. He's always there like free mall Wi-Fi easy access, zero excitement. And anything too easy gets tossed into the subconscious trash bin. Desire doesn't thrive on comfort. It feeds on risk, mystery. That instability that has her wondering, is he into me or is he about to bail? She needs to feel like she could lose you, like she's not in control, like you're not some predictable toy on her emotional shelf. That flips the addiction switch, the anticipation, the anxiety. Want to know what it stirs up in her? The same hook that drags someone back to a crappy show just because the ending's unpredictable. Yeah, it's harsh, but that's how it works. While you're out here trying to win her over with emotional spreadsheets and DM flowers, she's craving the guy who makes her question her own sanity. Her desire isn't grateful, it's starving, and it only chases what slips through the cracks. That's where mental triggers come in. And no, these aren't lame pickup artist gimmicks from some frustrated bro. They're psychological detonators that awaken her most primal instinct, wanting what she can't fully have. You want her to crave you? Stop serving up your heart on a platter with a cute bow and note. Stop being predictable. Stop being that open book she flips through once and ditches. The guy who gets this doesn't beg, doesn't humiliate himself, doesn't send essay texts. He watches. He pulls back. He lets the silence work its magic for him. And when he does, the flip happens. The game turns. She starts paying attention. Starts looking at you with that burning doubt. Starts thinking about you even when she's trying to forget. That's when desire kicks in. No warning, no logic, no control. Subtle, silent, unstoppable. Number 2. The guy without triggers is just background noise in her script. There's a massive gap between getting noticed and getting stuck in her head. Most guys snag a few seconds of attention like an annoying phone pop-up, but vanish from her mind before it even registers. Why? Because they don't trigger jack squat inside her. They're like ads between episodes. They play, get ignored, and no one wants a replay. Want to know what decides if you'll become her recurring thought or just another forgotten username? Triggers. Without them, you're just another polite dude with a spreadsheet smile. Another compliment ripped off Google. Another chat as memorable as a microwave manual. And she doesn't daydream about that. Doesn't crave it. Doesn't wake up sweating over it at 3 a.m. What hooks her? Emotional impact. And the only way to deliver that is by being unpredictable. The guy who acts like everyone else joins the auto-forget queue. The one who breaks the mold scars her emotionally speaking. Always replying in seconds? Congrats, now she knows you're on a short leash. Always available? Great, now you're her loyal golden retriever with unlimited data. Spill your guts too soon? Game over before it starts, and what's already done loses its flavor, goes bland, turns into emotional diet food. She needs to feel like she hasn't figured you out yet, like the script's still unfolding, like there's still mystery, doubt, tension hanging in the air. Because that uncertainty is addictive. It's the, is he for real or just messing around, that turns boredom into fixation. The mistake? Being too transparent? Too predictable? Handing over everything without her even asking. The guy who truly owns this emotional battlefield doesn't chase. He sets the stage where she has to do the running. He plants confusion on purpose. Calculated contrasts, sweet on Tuesday, ghost on Thursday. Intense one day, untouchable the next. Always one step ahead. Because he nailed the basic rule of attraction. What draws her in isn't what's said, it's what's felt without explanation. And when she feels something she can't explain, she clings. When she thinks about you without knowing why, she gets hooked. The invisible becomes unforgettable when you stop seeking approval and start squatting rent-free in her head. That's what separates the emotional extra from the lead she can't delete. Number 3. Mystery. The weapon of the guy who doesn't beg for attention. Every woman comes equipped with an emotional radar like a smoke detector that beeps when there's fire in the air. But it doesn't go off for the obvious. It only reacts to what confuses, intrigues, throws her off balance. In short, mystery. And not the, I say nothing because I'm insecure kind. It's controlled mystery. Calculated. Surgical. The kind that drops breadcrumbs with Cirque du Soleil precision, just enough to spark hunger, never enough to satisfy. A mysterious guy doesn't explain himself. He hints. He doesn't strip emotionally naked on the first date like some needy teen. He says little but packs a punch. Every sentence is a question disguised as an answer. And that's when the magic hits. She starts thinking, starts imagining, starts building versions of you in her mind. While the nice guys are out there doing emotional TikTok dances for her, you become a maze. And the female brain loves mazes, especially the ones that tease an exit but never spell it out. She latches on to what she can't understand, because anything too clear becomes emotional furniture, useful, predictable, and totally forgettable. Mystery, on the flip side, is what pulls her back. Back to figure it out. Back to decode. Back even when she doesn't want to. A mysterious man doesn't beg for attention. He confuses. He intrigues. He unsettles. And that weirdness, dosed just right, turns into fascination. It's the, I don't know what it is about him, she whispers to her friends. It's the, why the hell am I still thinking about that jerk, she mutters to herself at 3 a.m. He doesn't serve up weaknesses on a silver platter. Doesn't puke out traumas over the first drink. Doesn't drop to his knees at the first eye contact. He holds back, he measures, he controls, because the more he reins it in, the more she unravels. The rule's simple. It's not about shutting up, it's about choosing. Show only what feeds the doubt. Vanish when she expects you there. Show up when she thinks it's over. Provoke without justifying. Because mystery, done right, doesn't need to convince, it dominates. And when that clicks, she doesn't come closer to love you. She comes closer to figure out why the hell she can't get you out of her head. Now pump the brakes on the drama and let's cut to the chase. Listen up, champ. Enough being the emotional doormat for some spoiled princess. Enough settling for scraps with a grateful grin. What's in the description is a digital book that'll reprogram you out of this doormat with a social security number syndrome. A guide to stop being a disposable emotional toy and become the challenge she can't decide if she hates or craves. Learn to put her in her place, not with anger, but with surgical coldness. Respect or radio silence. No half measures, no whining. Because the world doesn't hand out freebies to crumb chasers. Either you become the guy calling the shots, or keep clowning in her affection circus. Your call. Number 4. Absence. The silence that screams in her head. Constant presence is like an old couch cushion. Comfy, predictable, and invisible. But absence, applied right? That's emotional crack. The human brain doesn't value what's always around. It obsesses over what could vanish any second. And her brain, buddy, cranks that up to 11. Absence is sweet poison. When deployed with laser precision, it doesn't just make her miss you, it creates withdrawal. Digs a hole in her mind, a pit of doubt, curiosity, restlessness. It's in that void where desire blooms, not in your cute good morning text. A guy who's too clingy becomes emotional wallpaper, there but unnoticed. Replying in seconds, calling non-stop, offering yourself up like a club flyer. Congrats, you've become Plan B before even making the short list. She says she loves attention? Sure. Who doesn't dig an ego stroke? But what really hooks, binds, and sticks in her feels is that damn doubt. And doubt only sprouts when you vanish without a heads up. But here's the twist that separates the pro from the pathetic. Most guys ghost the wrong way. They dip out in a huff, playing games, masking neediness as strategy. That doesn't build mystery, it builds pity. The absence that works isn't childish, it's organic. It's the vibe of a guy too busy with his own grind to chase notifications. The dude with missions, routines, goals, not parked waiting for heart emojis. This kind of absence doesn't reject, it elevates. It screams that your attention ain't cheap, and anything valuable, she desperately wants to earn. When you yank your presence, she feels the weight of the emptiness. The absence hammers home what she ignored before. The silence starts yelling, and what flew under her radar now bugs her like a rock in her shoe emotionally. Absence is the lethal man's weapon, not because it hurts, but because it echoes. An emotional vacuum she has to fill, and suddenly, you're the puzzle she needs to solve. The secret. Never announce it. Never explain. Never send a need space text. You fade like you're too busy living. And when you resurface, act like nothing happened. Because in that gap, she spun 37 theories about you, and none involve forgetting. Absence isn't cowardice, it's mastery, and mastery doesn't apologize, it just is. Number 5. Disdain. The silence. Louder than any compliment. You don't need to make a scene, or turn into a soap opera villain. Real power isn't in yelling, it's in ignoring with flair. Subtle disdain is like poison in a crystal glass. Classy, almost unseen, and totally deadly. Because what really stings? Quiet contempt. The glance that says, I see you, but meh. That hits where her ego hides for real in that fantasy that every guy will drop to his knees for a smile and a low-cut top. She's used to being the ringmaster, getting fawned over by a line of emotional clowns, breathing in attention like air. Then, you show up. Cool, neutral, no rush, no drooling. Boom, system glitch. She short-circuits emotionally. Why isn't he reacting like the rest? Am I not all that? What's this guy's deal that's got me second-guessing myself? Congrats, trigger activated. Because now she's not chasing you for fun. She's chasing to crush her own insecurity. And that's when attachment kicks in. Subtle disdain isn't rude. It's emotional elegance. The art of indifference without being a jerk. When she fishes for compliments, switch topics. When she tries to flirt, respond like you're discussing taxes. When she wants validation, serve up the most eloquent silence ever. It disarms, it stirs, it confuses. And a confused brain latches on. But watch the balance. Cool, not robotic. Distant, but present enough for her to know it's a choice, not fear. You're not running, you're standing your ground. Selective, not scared. No hunger for attention, no neediness posing as tactics. The guy who nails subtle disdain sends the clear message, I'm not another fanboy. I'm the audience you gotta win over. And when she gets that, game flips. You become the challenge, the outlier, the prize not handed over easy. And women, women prize what resists, what says no with style, what denies with poise. Because anything classy denied turns into obsession with no expiration date. Onward. Number 6. The authority that doesn't speak but makes her quake inside. You could have a philosopher's vocab, a therapy guru's chat, the sharpest compliments on earth, but if your body language screams insecure, it's all white noise. Because before she hears your words, her brain senses who you are. And if your posture's apologizing for existing, don't even bother talking. The guy who gets nonverbal authority doesn't announce his arrival. He enters, and when he does, the room's vibe shifts. He doesn't need to declare his worth. He is worth. How does he broadcast it? Without a single yell. Posture. Shoulders like they carry conviction, not baggage. Chin like he's eye level with the world or above it. Gaze direct, no blinking, no fishing for approval in someone's eyes. Move slow, because power doesn't rush. Control doesn't fidget. Every step looks rehearsed, but it's effortless. Every gesture minimal, but it says, I'm in charge here. That pings her emotional radar, and it screams respect, desire, intrigue. Meanwhile, most guys are out there slouching, giggling like fools to please, hands shaking like flags in a storm, fiddling with phones like they're escaping, gripping drinks like it's their last lifeline to self-worth. Silent disaster. Because in this invisible play, every tiny move is a confession. And the most common one. I'm a boy pretending to be a man. Result? She notices, she drifts, she forgets. But the lethal guy, the one who cracked this hidden game, doesn't draw eyes. He pulls gravity. Because he acts like he already owns what others kill for. He doesn't show off, he imposes, effortlessly. Arms crossed, and it feels like he's about to decide fates. Leans in slight, and it's like final judgment. Even silent, he commands. Body language is the first impression, often the last. She might forget your words, but she'll never shake the shiver from your stare. There. Impactful silence. That's how the pros do it. Next up, number 7. The touch. Surgical, rare, and addictively permanent. She's been touched by plenty, but truly felt by few. Because touch, done right, isn't just physical, it's psychological. And the rarer it is, the deeper it pierces memory and turns into addiction. Most guys touch too much, like dogs marking turf, hand on arm, hair, waist, all with the urgency of proving something. And she feels it. Spots when touch reeks of neediness masked as affection. When a guy's gotta touch to feel wanted, validated, That kind loses power instantly. But when the lethal guy, the one already ruling with a look, decides to touch, game changer. Because he does it without warning, no fanfare, no permission slip. A small move that dismantles. A simple graze on the waist at the perfect beat. An arm brush mid-chat. A firm hand guiding through a door. Then pull away. No smirk. No like that. Just silence. That shatters norms, sows doubt, embeds addiction. Because now her body doesn't want generic touch. It wants yours. That specific one. Delivered without demands, and it took everything. Rare touch becomes sensory memory. A benchmark. An emotional reference. She could be with someone else, but she'll recall yours like a secret. Because you didn't touch non-stop. You waited for the right moment. Touched when she was already hooked inside. Then vanished. And that vanishing amplified it all. Her body reacted, but her mind glitched trying to process what the hell just went down. Because she lost control. And every time a woman loses control, she loses her chill too. When the chill vanishes, desire claims the crown. Conclusion. Power's in the mind, not the body. You could have the body she drools over. Cash, wheels, status, and compliments galore. But if you don't own her mind, it's all got an expiration date. The body adapts. The spark fades. Shallow desire fizzles. But psychological impact, that sticks. She might pull away, try to move on, meet other guys. But if you hit the right triggers, with precision, ice and control, she'll carry it inside. Quietly, secretly, buried in every bad choice she makes after. When you mark the mind, no other body can fill it. That mark comes not from overload, but from scarcity, from mystery, from the touch that surprises, the stare that holds, the silence that nags, the disdain that baffles, the coldness that draws. Female desire doesn't feed on pretty words. It thrives on what shatters patterns, yanks the rug, scrambles logic. When you master this, no more chasing. She's the one hunting what you never fully give. Obsession blooms when she feels you're close, but never all in. That lack of control over you crumbles her walls. It's what makes her crave you in the quiet, when no one's watching, not even her. The 7 triggers you learned today aren't gimmicks. They're weapons. And weapons don't just attract, they addict. Once fired, no turning back. You choose. Be remembered as the man she never got over, or erased like another forgotten contact. In the end, remember, the guy who owns a woman's mind is never seen as ordinary again.